Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this world, and thank you guys so much for tuning in for another video of DIY investing. Over the last week, I've been watching very closely to the altcoin total market cap because I think that this is setting up for one of the biggest market cycles we have ever seen. I do strongly believe that the bear market is over, and all of this fear that we're seeing inside of the market right now is just an illusion to get you to sell your bags. Remember guys that when there's a lot of fear in the market and the markets are going down, that's when we want to be buying. And so today's video, we're going to be diving in and looking at the big term perspective with the altcoin total market cap. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys why this cycle is exactly the same as the last and how there is a significant amount of profits that are about to be had over the next couple years. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do myself a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. Remember, I also offer a video course in Signal, so if you guys are actually looking to join a community where you can get behind some really top quality content and some exclusive content that'll teach you guys all of the same strategies that I use to profit inside of cryptocurrency every day, you guys are definitely going to want to check out the Signals. It's just a mix of 20 different educational videos that teach you guys all of the exact strategies that I use to day trade as well as invest in the cryptocurrency markets. Now the Signals, there's actually a really good opportunity for you guys to actually copy my personal portfolio. All of the trades that I'm actively taking in the market, you guys can actually follow along and profit alongside next to me as we go into this bull run. So if you guys are wanting to join a community that you can trust, make sure that you guys click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Once you actually have access to the server, make sure you guys just message me on here and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Alright guys, we got a lot of really important things to cover, a lot of insane market growth still to come, so let's jump right into this amazing video today. So here we are taking a look at the altcoin total market cap. I want to talk to you guys about this chart specifically because this shows you all of the average money inside of the altcoin market. This is all of the altcoins excluding Bitcoin, so every single one of your altcoins are going to be charted in here. And I like to talk about this chart specifically because honestly, this is what's going to give us the most clear understanding of what's to come inside of the altcoin market. And it's also a really good indicator because honestly, it follows the cycle analysis really identically. I can look at the current cycle and I can apply it to the last cycle. And it really gives me a strong observation as to where we're currently at and where we still have to come. Now, what I wanted to go through here, guys, is I've actually gone through and analyzed quite a significant portion of this chart and this cycle, and I wanted to share with you guys how this cycle that we're currently in is almost exactly the same as the last cycle. There's hardly any sort of differences between the two pairs, and you guys are going to start to see that when I break it down. Now, what this basically means is that I think that we're actually a lot earlier in this cycle than most people actually believe, and I think that once I actually break down this comparison for you guys, you're going to fully understand exactly how early you guys actually are inside of this revolutionary market. And so let's go through here and actually start to analyze. Now, kind of what I wanted to point out first and foremost is kind of the cycle reversal points. And I've updated you guys with that. Everybody knows that that's the new year. And for whatever reason, the new year is a time of reversals. Now, what I wanted to point out is the fact that the altcoin market cycle graph actually follows in 2-year increments. So we'll have a 2-year bull cycle followed by a 2-year bear cycle. So 2 years from that point puts us at about here. And then we can see, so top of the bear cycle, 2 years from that point, the start of the new bull cycle. And now the trend continues. 2 years from that point puts us at the top of the bull cycle. And then 2 years from that point puts us right here, right before we started actually impulsing into this new year. And so we all know that this has been what I've been updating you guys with. I've been telling you guys that the new year is a point of reversals, whether it's increments of 1 year, whether it's increments of 2, for whatever reason, the new year is a strong point. And so what I wanted to go through here, guys, was show you that this cycle and this cycle are almost following the same exact trajectory. What I mean by that is right before the new year, we actually start to top off. Right at the new year, same sort of thing. And we actually make our first sell-off right before the new year in the first cycle. Now, we sell off and then we immediately get a short-term relief rally that takes us back up, and this is really our first lower high, right? So we'll label that one red. And then we see that we get really our first real impulse back down. We can see we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse back down, and then that completes an ABC correction back up. A, B, C. And then you can see that we kind of just consolidate sideways for a little while until we hit that new year, and then we actually start a new bull run. Now, this is what's really important to me, is the fact that the two cycles, once again, are following the same trend. And we can see that. We make a 5-wave impulse back down, and roughly the same sort of consolidation that we see in the current cycle. And I'll apply that, and I'll show you guys kind of what I mean here. But right now, I just got to go through and kind of label the things that I'm seeing, the similarities and the differences, but predominantly just similarities is what I'm seeing. Now, this takes us to kind of this action here. We get this ABC correction back up. We kind of retreat and make a relief rally up towards the previous cycle high, only to fall back down and continue this sideways trending. And this is really what we're seeing here currently. Even though it doesn't seem quite the same, I can almost guarantee that it is. Now, just like the cycle high, we have the cycle high of the move right here, and that'll be roughly the same as right here. And then we make our first impulse on the downside. We make our first lower high. And then this takes us to right here. So we get roughly the same sort of trajectory again. The second box is roughly the same as here. And really all it is the same is we get the top of the cycle. We make an impulse down, our first lower high. And this is really the first lower high. And then we start to kind of fall into this retrace. Now, the thing about this, guys, is the cycles really are very similar. And when I go through and analyze it, you're going to start to see. We can see that after our first lower high, we're right here. We make our first 1, 3, and 5 Elliott wave impulse down, and we can see that that was the same that took place up here as well. We can see 1, 3, and then 5. And so we get roughly the same sort of thing. The only real difference is the fact that this was kind of a sharper bearish sell-off because we had a much stronger parabolic run. And so this one kind of chopped around. We actually made a lot more of a relief rallies on the upside than we did in this most recent cycle, but overall it's roughly the same. Now this is what takes us to the bottom of the cycle, and this is still where the similarities are true. We can see that out of the bottom of the cycle we get an ABC correction back up, and that's the exact same thing that we saw here back in the early part of the relief rally that we saw in Bitcoin back in December of last year. And so this is what we saw, once again, the same exact sort of thing. Out of the capitulation lows, the very lowest point of the cycle, we get that short-term relief rally back up, the ABC correction back up, and now really we've just been consolidating within this sort of range here, right? And that's kind of what I've been watching for. I don't know exactly how similar it's going to continue to play out, but what I can see is almost the exact same market cycle. And not only does it look the same from a technical perspective, but we can also break it down to almost the exact same time frames as well. I mean, if we look at this, we're going to go from the cycle high was almost exactly at the new year, and then we can see 2 years from that point is the exact start of the new bull market, and we can see that this cycle played pretty much the same role. New year is the top of the bull cycle. We go into 2 years of bearish consolidation, and then right at that new year is where we start that new bullish trend up. And so this is the analysis that I wanted to share with you guys. The fact that this trend is showing the exact same market cycle. There's really hardly any difference in this. And it's quite shocking to me to be able to see just how correlated the two cycles are, because I think that this is really important moving forward. If you're a long-term trend trader or you're investing in these altcoins, this should be the most important chart that you're ever looking at, because this is going to paint the most clear picture of what's to come on the long-term basis. Now, before we get into what I'm expecting from a long-term basis, I want to talk to you guys about some mistakes that I made in the last bull run and how I think that me talking about it can actually shed some light and bring enlightenment towards your current situation. So really, in the last bull run, I tried to trade. I tried to be a day trader. I tried to learn how to do these advanced trading strategies, and I tried to just do that for my profitability inside the last run. And the problem with that was I didn't know that I could just zoom out on this chart and I could see the big picture trend, and I didn't know market cycles. I didn't understand those things, and so and so what really I can explain to you guys now is the fact that if you're watching this video, really, this trend is going to be your best friend. If you're going to be holding long-term in cryptocurrency, you should be looking at this analysis and this chart, and you really shouldn't be too worried about all of this noise that's taking place in the market. Right now, we have all of this fear surrounding coronavirus. We have all of this fear. China's shutting down their borders. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on. And realistically, to me, that's just a buying opportunity. And that's what I've been seeing. Last night, I just happened to stroll past the TV when the news was playing. And all I could ever hear was just about how scary everything is. Everybody was talking about a recession. Everybody was talking about the markets tanking. And all I could think about was how badly I should be buying that market. And so this analysis today is really here to help mentor you guys through all of the uncertainty that the market brings, all of the crashes, all of the rises. There's going to be so much different news that comes out. Mainstream news is going to attach any sort of bias it has to whatever price is reflecting. And so if price is going down, you're going to be hearing that the world is completely falling apart. You're going to hear that the sky is falling. And that's just the way that the cycles work. And really, I wanted to make this video so that we can all be on the same page, because when I scroll out and I zoom out this cycle and we look at a long-term perspective, we start to understand that we just started this new bull cycle. And so you guys really think that this coronavirus and all of this uncertainty on the news that we're hearing is really going to just completely collapse cryptocurrency? I don't think so. I think that we're just getting started. Now, this is what takes me to the next segment of this chart, and this is what I'm actually expecting to have play out inside of this next cycle. Now, the fact that we're following the last cycle almost identically, there's hardly any real difference here. It's almost the exact same cycle. There's just a little bit of a consolidation difference, but roughly we're experiencing the same market cycle. And so with that being said, guys, I am expecting roughly the same sort of bull run to take place. I think that we'll see another very major parabolic run. It doesn't have to be the same size as far as percent return, but it can still be very parabolic. And kind of what I'm expecting to play out is something on the lines of this. Let's go through here. So basically, I'm just taking the previous cycle and I'm going to layer it over here. And we're going to kind of see how I think this is going to play out. Now, obviously speaking, I'm going to be taking profits at the end of 2021. So 2021 takes us about right here. And so roughly the exact top of this chart. And that's kind of what I'm expecting moving forward. I think that we're actually going to see another major parabolic run play out almost identically to the last cycle. Now, I don't think that the market structure has to look exactly the same, but I think it would actually shock you guys how close it will follow this. And so this is kind of the thing that once I pointed this out and once I found this pattern, I started to really understand exactly how early we are in this cycle. I mean, realistically, guys, this new year was the start of the new bull run. We just barely had the new year 2 months ago. And so we're just barely inside of this new paradigm. We just, this new bull run has just barely started. And so right now we are still super undervalued. Right now, any sort of accumulation that you're taking is going to be, very, very greatly rewarded 2 years from now. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, if we're going based off of what I experienced in the last bull run, to give you guys an idea of, what I was able to do with my finances and how early I was, you guys are actually earlier right now. And what I mean by that is if we took a look at Ethereum right now, we can see that Ethereum really got added to exchanges around August of 2015, which I think would be about the bottom. So it'd be about August would have been about right here. And so we basically got added in Ethereum at the very start of this new bull run. And that's why Ethereum really led the charge. And really, this consolidation here is the exact same as what we saw here, or even this black one up here. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, guys, is because I actually got into cryptocurrency right about here, summer of 2016. And so I was able to make all of this life-changing money off of, missing some of the bull market. I already missed one of the first legs up that we experienced. This entire move here, I had basically missed that by the time I got into cryptocurrency. And really all I had was the opportunity to ride out the tail end of 2016 and then the 2017 bull run, which was obviously life-changing enough. I was able to change my life and other people were able to do the same. But that's why I'm making this video, is because, guys, we're really, really early. We're earlier than even when I got into the last cycle, based off of a time frame perspective. We're still going to have to ride out this first impulse. And that's really going to set the stage for which altcoins are going to really start outperforming. Now, obviously, Chainlink has been performing really good. Tezos has been performing really good. And I actually expect that whatever altcoins are going to really lead that alt season charge, it's going to be the ones that most closely follow the total market cap of the altcoins. Because what that shows is that if an altcoin can actually parity with how the altcoin total market cap looks, and they show market structure that are similar, then you're actually going to know that a lot of money is flooding into that altcoin. And so if you're seeing, Tezos or Chainlink perform really well, there's a really high probability chance that we could see those two front run the rest of the market, or maybe just Chainlink, or maybe just Tezos. I don't know. But that's what I'm seeing thus far. Remember, guys, that Ethereum in the last bull run was the biggest leader, it was the biggest gainer, and that's why the altcoin total market cap reflects symmetry of Ethereum's price structure more than any other coin out there. It's because more money went into Ethereum than any other altcoin. And so if there is going to be another altcoin, which I expect will outperform Ethereum, and we'll see the bulk of that new money flooding into it, I think that Chainlink has a good opportunity, and some of these other ones maybe that I haven't even found yet. But with this first impulse that I'm expecting, because I think that this is what's going to take place. We'll get an impulse, we'll break out of the cycle high here, and then we'll kind of fart around and retrace back onto the previous high, and then we'll start that new bull trend. And I'm expecting it to play out very similar to this, and I think it would actually surprise you guys how close it will follow this. And so really, guys, this is the analysis I had for you. I want to talk about all of the fear we're seeing in the market between coronavirus, between stocks falling, just everything. Everybody's really fearful. And I think that this is really a good opportunity for buying. And to be quite honest, I'm most likely going to be scaling into some positions today. I know that I was waiting for about $8,300 Bitcoin, but what I've noticed with the crypto markets is they've sold off pretty significantly. Now, I know that it could drop a little bit lower and I could be in a short-term loss, but really, guys, the fact that we've sold off so significantly in the altcoins is a really good buying opportunity, and I don't want to miss out on that, because something that can happen if you're waiting for one specific price target, maybe you get really close to getting filled, only it doesn't hit your target, and then the market bounces 20% in the opposite direction and you just didn't get filled on anything because you just were waiting. Now, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm going to average into the dips as much as I can. I'm not too worried about short-term losses, obviously, because I was in a lot of short-term losses when I accumulated this dip. But now that I'm in majority profit, I actually plan on averaging into some more positions, because I think the altcoins are still at a really cheap point. Now, this is the ultimate cycle that I wanted to share, because this paints a more clear perspective on a long-term basis than any other chart out there. I don't see a lot of analysts talking about this. Occasionally you'll see them draw, the New Year reversals, but that was shortly after I even started posting about it. And so I don't see quite as many analysts looking at the big picture trend of things, and I'm not really sure why, because it's so much easier to invest. It's so much easier to trade if you know what's happening from a long-term perspective. Because, I mean, realistically, if you're just stuck looking at the short time frame, how are you ever supposed to know what's going on? And that's why people end up missing out on lots of profit potential in the bull run, is because they fail to recognize what's taking place on a bigger scale. And, this is what's happening. It's almost the exact same cycle as before. We really just started this new bull trend with this new year in 2020. And so I'm expecting a nice bull run till about the end of 2021. So when I'm going to scale out. And so I just wanted to update you guys so that we're all on the same page together. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, or concerns regarding this analysis, make sure you guys comment them in the comments of this video. I'll get back to those as soon as possible. Remember, guys, I also offer a video course and Signals, so if you guys want access to a top quality community where I share all of my educational course videos, and then I also share my secret portfolio management, you guys are definitely going to want to click the link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Once you have access, just shoot me a message on there, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. But realistically, guys, so much profit potential still to come. If you're here right now, pat yourself on the back. You survived the bear market. If you were feeling really fearful about all of this panic in the market recently, take a look at this chart, relax, understand that you are so early in this thing, and we still have a very massive parabolic cycle still to come. We haven't even done anything. We've consolidated sideways. We've basically just messed around this entire retrace, and so now we're going to start to see the real parabolic moves taking place. So make sure you guys aren't selling too early. Make sure you're holding the majority of that trend, because the people that are buying now, holding the length of trend, are going to make the highest ROI out of the next cycle. So thank you guys so much for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. Thankful to have you guys a part of the team. Thankful to have you guys profiting alongside next to me. And with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.